Welcome to this very special lesson on the Teenage Engineering EP-1320 Medieval. I bought this device a few months back. I haven't got around to learning it, but I have been learning it the last few days. It's an amazing machine. For the money these cost used now, it's got to be the bargain of the century. So I've been planning and I'm going to be doing a course on this instrument. But the one thing that really bugged me while I was trying to learn this was the looping mode. And so I've spent so much time on this. I'm going to do a special one-off video on this because I'm guessing there must be people like me out there who are struggling with this or haven't really totally understood it. I'm not saying that I'm 100% there with this, but pretty close, I think. So this video is dedicated to the looping function on this device, and of course it's the same for the Knockout to the 133. It's the same machine, but it's just not labelled medieval and it hasn't got those medieval samples in it. So I'm not going to go into details on the machine. I'm going to save that for the course, which is coming soon, but we're just going to deal with the looping function today. Now this is a performance technique. It's not something you can record into a pattern. If you don't understand what I mean by that, you soon will when I start showing you this. The idea here is to capture a 1-bar chunk of audio from your scene, from your patterns if you like, and just perform it. You don't record it into the sequence or anything like that. All active groups are recorded. On this one I've got A and B, and loops are a maximum of 1 bar in length, but fragments of a loop can also be played anything from a 1/16 of a bar right up to the whole thing. You can have semiquavers, quavers, crotchets, minims, semi-breathes, that kind of thing. Loops, like I say, can't be recorded into a pattern, but they can be used in combination with what's called punch-in, on this instrument, pocus effects. Just a bit of terminology here. This knob here is called the pulsus knob or the X knob, and this is called the metrum or the Y knob. And the whole thing is in faux Latin. It's supposed to be a kind of a medieval joke, which kind of wears thin fairly quickly when you're trying to decipher it. But in my course, I'm going to go through all the translations of all the labelling on this machine, so don't worry about that. But I'll tell you what you need to know to get up and running on this. I've recorded a little tune into this device, appropriately titled Medieval Christmas. It's something I wrote years ago for the guitar when I was teaching the guitar in school. So it's perfect for this. And I've just got 2 groups with 4 sounds. So I'll just play the 4-bar pattern. I'm not going to play the whole thing, I'll just play the bit I'm going to loop. So here's our 4-bar pattern. And it loops round naturally. Obviously it's got natural looping without what I'm going to show you today, but that's just the 4 bars looping round. You can go through the patterns just by pressing the plus and the minus, go back, see? Let's take it back to the beginning. Okay, good. So there are 3 methods for doing this. Now, one of them is a bit iffy, to be honest. It's a bit unreliable, so I'm going to leave that one to last. So we'll deal with method 1 first of all, which sounds sensible. So it's much easier to set the loop to the beginning of the bar with this method. If you hold the altero, which is the shift button, and tap the necto button, which is this button here, it's tempus and necto, tempo and loop. Obviously it's necto if you're holding altero down. So it's these 2 buttons that you need to use for this function. If I get the sequence playing, hold the shift button, the altero button down, and then just tap the tempus or necto button once, then we're going to get a 1-bar loop from that point. So what I will do is I'll let the sequence play through the 4 bars, and I'll do this at the beginning of the 1st bar second time around. So our 4 bars are going to go past. Got my finger on the altero ready, the shift if you like. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, tap. Now, you can see I've got a loop. It's gone to just 2 beats because this metrum control was not rotated fully to the right. It was probably about here. So I rotate that fully to the right. And so there's our 4-beat 1-bar loop. You can't get more than 1 bar, but you can shift the loop around. I'll show you that in a moment. Okay, so I'll just show you that again. So we'll run the the sequence doesn't have to be from the beginning. So when I get to the beginning again, I'm going to hold shift and tempus. 3, 4. Now it's playing the whole loop because the metrum, this Y encoder, is all the way around to the right. So I've got a 1 bar loop, that's fine. So let's do that from somewhere else, shall we? Maybe the second bar. So here we go. And there's our second bar looping around. See, so you can do that anywhere. It doesn't have to be on the beginning of a bar. You could do it halfway through a bar. Let's try that. Take it back to the beginning. It doesn't have to be from the beginning either. So there I was in the middle of a bar, see? Okay, so it's pretty easy to do. Let's just go back and do it from the beginning of bar 1 again. If you want to come out of this mode, either press tempus or manus, tempo or main. So we're going to sample that first bar. 3, 4. So there's our bar looping around. So what can we do with that once we've done that? And by the way, the icon for looping on the Medieval is a glass of wine being topped up from a bottle. So that obviously means something. Not quite sure what, but anyway, that's what looping is. That's the icon for it. So what can I do now I've got this loop up and running? Now this metrum encoder, this Y encoder, I think it's black on the 133, but it's brown on this. You'll see what I can do with this. So it's running. So if I rotate this to the left, it's going to be the same loop but shorter. All the way to the right, it's the full 4 beats. Bring it back a bit. 2 beats. 1, 2. 1 beat. Half a beat, and then semiquavers, a quarter of a beat. So the clever thing is you can move that loop, you're not stuck with it there. So how do you move that loop around? Now I made a loop of the first bar of a 4 bar scene. So I'm not just stuck with that, I can move this all the way through those 4 bars. Let me show you how I do that. I do it with this orange encoder labelled Pulsus, or X if you like. So have a listen to this. I'm going to rotate it. Different part of the pattern now. Different part. And that's the end of the 4 bar pattern, isn't it? See? If I bring the Y controller back now, I've gone back to the beginning of that. So you can move the loop around and you can change the length of the loop. I can also change where the loop is in the 4 bars with the plus and minus buttons. So, going back. I've taken it all the way back to the beginning there. Now have a look at the display. You can see first beat, third beat, and those red diamonds. Beat 1, beat 3, beat 1, beat 3. Now if I go back to the beginning, can you see how that first beat is flashing? And then when I get to 4 beats, you get beat 1, beat 3. See? Beat 1, beat 3. Now, like I said, you can move the loop with the plus and minus and the orange encoder. Now if you want finer increments when you're doing this, hold Shift or Altero down. Going back. So if I rotate the brown encoder, now that's missing the beginning of the beat. If I move this with the plus and the Altero, let's go the other way. It's coming in. Now I'm right at the beginning, see? Not the beginning of the bar, but that's the beginning of that loop, and I've got a strong kick drum there. Whereas if I move that slightly off with the Shift and the plus, see it's missing now. Now it's gone away, and then bring it back in. Keep an eye on that red line there, curved line. Now, it's weird when you're working with loops because the loop may not be starting where you think it is. Okay, so don't always expect it to be at the beginning of a bar. Now, if you've got a loop going and you want to come out of it, if you press tempus or tempo, then the loop will exit at the end of the bar. But if you press manus or main, it exits immediately. So it will come out immediately. Now it's just going to play the normal scene without any looping, just the normal 4 bars. If you want to go back into looping mode from that, hold Altero or Shift and tempus, and then it's gone from there. Now, a bit of a funny old start point, so we can alter that with Altero and minus. Now that's spot on now, see? Now one good thing you can do with the loops is you can use the punch-in effects, and you get those by holding Pocus, I think that's effect on the knockout, and one of the effects. You've got all these different ones here. I'm not quite sure what they are because they're quite strange punch-in effects. These are not like the normal standard effects that are labelled here, like level and start point, end point, high pass filter, low pass filter. So just have a listen, you'll hear that they're quite weird. So here's our loop running, and I can do this. Each brown pad gives me a different effect. I'm not saying they're particularly stunning, but that's something you can do with a loop. So that was method 1. Quite a lot to it, wasn't there, really? Right, so let's look at method 2 now. And this is also an easy way to set the loop. So we need to come out, let's press manus, so just running normally. Now this time, I'm going to press Shift, Altero, and tempus, tempo, and I'm going to hold the tempus down. Now, if I hold it down for more than a bar, then the result will be the same as the last one. We'll just get a bar loop from where it started. But I can do a really short loop if I lift that tempus off before the bar's finished. I'm going to bring the metrum back because obviously if this is right the way over, I might get an entire bar playing. So let's bring this back about halfway. Right, so let's get this going. Now there's a short little loop there. I can open that up with the metrum, and I've got the whole bar now. So that's just a good way of doing a little short loop. So the longer you hold that tempus down, the longer the loop, but it won't go past a bar in any case. That's the maximum. And all the other things are the same, you know, the shifting of the start point, the rolling back of the metrum to make the loop shorter. This third method, I've labelled it on my script here as a bit hit and miss, a bit iffy as I said earlier. Let's come out, let's go back to the beginning. Let's rotate the pulses all the way to the left and the metrum all the way to the right, so everything's opened out. I'm not quite sure if that makes any difference. It probably doesn't, but you know, this is what I do. Now this is supposed to capture the first bar of the pattern, and all you do is you press Altero. Notice the sequence is stopped. That's the difference, see? shift, tempus, just once, come off. Now if I press the play, now what normally happens is what's happened there, it plays the entire 4 bars through, and then if I want to set a beginning, I want to set a bar, I jam the metronome controller all the way to the left, and that will be the beginning of the loop. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to have my hand on the metronome, the Y, and I'm going to jam it over. And there we go. Now it does that. Now if I go the other way, I've got my 1 bar loop. See? And I can trim that up if I want to. Now that's off, so I'm going to... Yeah, you get the idea. It's a bit weird sometimes when you do it. It did what it did then. It plays the entire 4 bar pattern, and then you trim it up with the metronome, the Y encoder. Sorry if this is confusing to you if you've got the other machine, but essentially they're the same. And sometimes it goes straight into a loop, so it's a bit weird. Maybe I've misunderstood something here, but believe me, I've spent hours on this trying to sort this out. So I think that's pretty much it. Let's just do one more. We'll come out. Right, so there's our 1 bar. And then we're going to have 16ths. Quavers. Crotchets. Minims, and then the whole bar. If you didn't understand what I was doing there, I'll do it in terms of fractions of the bar. So I got 16th of the bar, 1/8 of the bar, half the bar, and the whole bar. So it's quite clever, isn't it? Even though you're only capturing a tiny bit of the 4 bars, you can find any point in those 4 bars with the orange encoder, the X encoder, or the plus and minus, and the Altero plus and minus if you want to do it in fine increments. So it's pretty flexible. Purely for fun, after all this, I'm not sure how much I'd use it, but it's certainly a fun thing to do. Now at the moment, unfortunately, the Medieval is poorly served when it comes to updates from Teenage Engineering. It hasn't got the song mode that the other machine's got. It hasn't had it yet. That was about 5 months ago that the other machine got that. I'm hoping this will have it. Anyway, I will deal with that as and when. So there we are, a special video today to show you how to do the looping on this machine and probably on the other machine as well. If you have any questions, do get in touch with me and I'll try my best to answer them. If you got anything out of today's video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. If you want to give me a bit of encouragement, a bit of a helping hand to encourage me on my path here, then please make a donation either here on YouTube or preferably on my website, which is www.daddylonglegs.com. Thanks very much for watching, and you'll see me in my next video.